All right, guys. Yeah, good morning. Super excited to talk about the builder's mindset with you guys. We're gonna have this up on YouTube. I know Josh has a lot of thoughts for this. He's gonna kick us off. We're gonna talk about both sides of the business, having being a top recruiter and then also being a top producer. So both of those kind of will mesh in to become an unbelievable builder here in Primerica. So definitely take a ton of notes and yeah, Josh, you can go ahead and kick us off.
What's up, everybody? We got um, a private training going on this morning in terms of the size of our attendance. I do see the people that are on ours are all have enormous potential to be incredible builders. I got, Donald, who I've always seen as a competitor. Obviously, Ian, another competitor. Um, we got Jada, Keenan, who I know could be an incredible recruiter, Morgan, Nia, Otis, Robert, Jeffrey, Jeff. Thank you guys for hopping on. I appreciate all of y'all. Um, having a builder's mindset, I believe everything starts and ends with a builder's mindset. And that used to mean simply being a top recruiter in the beginning, because I saw people getting recognized for it. The hierarchy we come from just harps or used to harp on being a double-digit recruiter. I mean, that was everything to this hierarchy when it first started. And I didn't realize that it didn't end with simply getting someone to submit an IBA and recruiting them. That's actually where it was just beginning. When I recruited someone, I didn't know what to do with them, and that's a whole nother training in itself. But there's a book out there called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I highly recommend, if you have not read this book, you must go out and read it to transform your business. Your business will be transformed if you read this book. And one of the 7 habits is to begin with the end in mind. And I believe the end, keeping the end in mind, I'm going to talk a little bit more of what that image looks like here. Keeping the end in mind, okay, here, that is, for me, SNSD making $1 million a year. And man, is that more than possible. If someone can submit their IBA and 35 months later be making $1 million a year, I know that it's possible to do it within 5 and definitely 10. Definitely 10. See, I look at other people with jobs, okay? And one thing I heard, if you guys, did what Shaq suggested on the standard thread that he has, he said, go and watch Samir's MLM training on how Primerica's not an MLM. See, I did that. And I was there. I was in that training. I rewatched it because sometimes you got to rewatch things, because repetition is the mother of learning. And he said something in that training that I loved. He said, with MLMs, or better yet, with jobs, it's get rich never. Here in Primerica, it's get rich maybe. Or as I like to say it, if you know your numbers, if you understand how our compensation works, which most of you on this call do not, okay? If you did, you'd be doing, and it would show in the numbers, right? if you understood the comp, you would understand it's more than probable that you will get rich doing the right things here with the right mentalities. I see LaCarla just joined us from California, y'all. It's 7 a.m. there. 7 a.m. Right? So I gotta perform here for you guys. I mean, if you guys understood the compensation, you'd understand here it's get rich most likely, probably. And at the job, it's get rich never. So you gotta begin with the end in mind, and don't think the end in terms of small potential and possibilities. We have 110 basically $1 million earners here, and almost 6,000 people making $100,000 a year. So to become a top recruiter, the first thing that you have got to implement is desire. Another book that I highly recommend to everybody go read is Think and Grow Rich. Even if you've already read it, the audio version for free is on YouTube as well. Go read it. Think and Grow Rich. The very first chapter in that book on becoming successful and rich is desire. Someone said, how do I make $1 million a year? And the first answer is, you have got to want to make $1 million a year. How do I make $100,000 a year in my Primerica business and get the ring? You have to want to get the ring. But before you can get the ring, you got to make $50,000 a year. You got to get the watch. Lelix and I are blessed to say that we are $2,000 away, basically, from getting our watch. Because we wanted that. That's what we wanted. And it's just, that means nothing in the grand scheme of things. But Bruce always said that the first 50,000 is the hardest. Because if you can get the watch, you can teach others how to put the watch on their wrist. And if you can put the ring on your finger, you could teach others how to put the ring on their finger. I was just talking to Lelix this morning, man. There's a family in California, the Barragons, and they, you know, the mom and dad have been in Primerica for like 20 years. And I don't know, 3.5 years ago, they recruited their son. And their son, within 1.5 years, having seen their parents do the fundamentals, within 1.5 years of submitting his IBA, became an RVP and clicked over 100,000. Then, a year ago, their son, who is 23 years old, recruited a friend of his who worked at a car wash. A car wash, guys. Okay, a lot of you guys have in your different careers, man, it would be so good to see all of your faces. Just throwing that out there. I appreciate Donald showing your face, man. Like, I really appreciate that. And of course, my lovely lady. Thank you. Because I want to know that I'm piercing your heart, man. I want to know that I'm speaking into your, into your soul, man. I want to know that I'm touching your potential. That's why I want to see your eyes, your face. Just throwing that out there. But anyways, this guy recruited a friend of his that was working at a car wash. And I got you, Robert. No worries. I appreciate you even being on, Robert. Thank you. While this guy was working at a car wash, a lot of you guys have more customer service, managerial skills than this guy ever had. And at 21 years old, decides to submit his IBA within 1 freaking year, guys. This guy who was working at the car wash, 12 months later, got the ring. at 21, at 22. And I looked on the computer, guys, like he's not putting in like, you know, false business. This guy has a good QBI. They're watching him. I mean, the head of his hierarchy is Danny Chamorro, $2 million earner. You know, they've got some great leadership, but come on. 21, 22 years old, knew nothing about much at all in life, comes in, submits his IBA, 12 months later is making 100,000. Why? Probably because he wanted to make 100,000 minimum. He desired that. He was sick and tired of his car wash job. You might not feel sick and tired enough of your job. And that is where therein lies the challenge. Because if you're not sick and tired of your job, you are not going to take the necessary steps to promote yourself to district leader and then go out and help 6 to 10 other people get promoted to district leader. See, I told that story not just to show you, you know, that this kid had a lot of desire, but I also told it to you to show you what's possible. If that man can take a kid off the streets working at a car wash and turn him into a regional vice president 12 months later, we can too. We can too. It's possible. Now you don't make anybody here. You find them. And that would be the point of becoming a top recruiter, right? You must know that quality always comes from quantity. Quantity precedes quality, right? But in terms of desire, what are some things, some key bullet points that you must desire to become wealthy at Primerica and become a top recruiter? Number one, you have to desire wealth. What is wealth? Okay, I actually thought of this because I really put a lot of time and energy and effort into these trainings for y'all. Wealth is like, what's the difference between being rich and being wealthy? Being rich, okay, is what you earn. It's what you earn. And the number to equal rich is $250,000 a year. That's like where rich starts. And go figure, Christian, David, Bruce, they would always say life just starts at $20,000 a month, which is $250,000 a year. Like life just starts at $20,000 a month. Rich is what you earn. Wealth is what you have. Wealth is what you have in terms of your net worth. And you are wealthy when you've got $5 million put away, in my humble opinion, and that's based on actual numbers. Because if you've got $5 million put away in the market and you just get a minimum of a 10% return annually, you're living off $500,000 a year of passive residual income from your assets. That's wealth. But where can wealth happen? At the job, never. Here in Primerica, that can happen because of all the other things that are on the list: passive income, multiple streams of income, freedom ownership, equity ownership. Like all of that can happen in Primerica for you and your family, never at the job. You have got to desire wealth. You cannot be okay with being complacent. I am not okay with my $50,000 a year income right now. I'm not okay. Because I know people make that at their freaking job. And all my friends, I got friends around Primerica that are my age. Juan Carlos, 23 years old. His parents make $700,000 a year. He just clicked over $200,000. My boy down in Florida, Edward, just clicked over 200 like 2 weeks ago. He's an RVP. He's 24 or 25. Freaking Rosalie. She made like $16,000 as a 20-year-old direct to Mario Arizon. Now she's 23 with her man. They combined their codes. They just clicked over 200,000. Like all my friends are making 200,000. So actually, I think there's a lesson in there as well. Who do you hang around? If I go in your phone and I look at who you're texting, who are you texting? People with the same income as you? The same net worth as you? Are you purposefully remaining comfortable with your friend circle? Or are you purposefully placing yourself around people that are better than you? See, I know I'm going to make 200 grand within the next 18 months. I know, and maybe even sooner. Right? Because I'm surrounding myself with people that are at that income bracket. And when I get there, I'm going to start hanging out with $500,000 and $1 million earners. Guaranteed. I think that is what helps inundate desire inside of you, is who you hang around. Right? The second thing is passive income. You have to desire passive income. We're recording this, so for the people that are watching on our YouTube, even if you make $250,000 a year at your job, you have to understand our $250,000 a year is better than your $250,000 a year. Because $250,000 a year in Primerica, you don't have to show up. $250,000 at your job, you got to work 60 hours a week and be on call if they need you. How do I know? One of my personal, one of our recruits that I'm working with right now is a general manager for a hotel chain. The inauguration was this past week, and it was hell. It was chaos for them. Like they were on call as if they were doctors. Like they had a pager. We need you to come in. We need you to come in. Right? And that person makes about 120 to 150. See, most people would look at most people would look at that as okay, but that you cannot be okay with okay. You've got to want more. All right. And then multiple streams of income. Freedom. Freedom from what? Your job, man. Down below it says being your own boss. You got to want to be your own boss and be free of someone telling you what to do each and every day. Especially if you have kids. Especially if you have kids. Equity. Equity, that's a whole nother conversation in itself. Like, what is equity and how can that benefit you and your family? Primerica gives you $15,000 of company stock when you become a regional vice president. Most people don't even know that when you are a regional vice president, when you license someone, they give you $250 of company stock every single time you license someone in your base shop. When you promote someone to district leader, they give you, I think the same action, 500, my bad, $500. Division leader, $750. You promote someone to regional leader as an RVP, they give you $1,000 of company stock every time you promote someone to regional. Right? You got to master your language. That's the second point on the screen. The language of a recruiter or of an employee is, hey, can I have more hours? Can I have a raise? Can I take vacations, paid vacations, PTO, blah, 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 right? That's not how a recruiter talks. A recruiter says, hey, come here. I'll teach you how to own, I'll teach you to have ownership. Do you know the difference between passive income and active income? Has anyone ever gone over that with you? Have you ever heard of the cash flow quadrant? Did you know there's 4 ways you can make money, not just one? Hey, recruiters use the word distribution, duplication. Hey, this is like real estate. Let me show you why. That's the language of a recruiter. Number 3 is to be competitive. Yo, you got to reach out to people, man. I'm getting slammed by my boy down in Edouard right now, down in Tampa. Down in Tampa, my boy Edouard is slamming me. But I got to compete. I got to compete with him. Otherwise, I'm not going to get to where I need to be, man. If I showed you the scores on our fight club versus him versus me, it'd be daunting. But not to me, because I know I'm going to catch him. I know I'm going to catch him. Right? But you got to be competitive. Find someone at your level. Fight club them on the app. You got to want to have a big team, man. You know, if you remain small, you're selfish. You're only benefiting you. Not even your family is benefiting, just you by being small. If you can get big, not only will your family benefit, but you will transform the lives of so many other families. Glenn Williams, our CEO, has like 5 compensation talks on POL. If you just go search it, it's on the front cover, man. Go look for it. It shows what happens when someone makes a decision to go for the next diamond movement. Like how many other people are affected in terms of income. Just by you deciding to make more money and get promoted, you help other people do the same. You got to take responsibility, leadership responsibility. When you decide to become a top recruiter, you forfeit. And I mean, like putting yourself first. You sacrifice not showing up because you had a personal issue between you and your spouse. You sacrifice not showing up because you have like a cold. You sacrifice not answering the phone because you're tired. And you always show up. You got to prospect daily. A top recruiter prospects daily. Every single day. Like brushing your teeth, man. Like if you don't brush your teeth, like every day, if you brush your teeth every other day, that is in society perceived as not okay. But yet it's okay for you to prospect every other day. That's not what a top recruiter does. That's not what somebody who wants wealth does. You must prospect daily. You got to know your numbers, man. I'm not going to go through any numbers now because if you get me going, hey, Shondell knows I'm never going to stop, right? I know my numbers very well, very well. I mean, in and out, side to side, up and down. If numbers was a woman, she'd marry me. Because I know my numbers like extremely well. You have got to know your numbers, not just for you, but if someone says, how does Primerica work? I mean, I can get someone so freaking enticed to want to get licensed in Primerica off the first interaction in 30 seconds because I know so much about our numbers that I can tell someone, hey, within 18 months, I can get you up and running to becoming a top broker here, on track to making $250,000 a year. Because all I need to teach you to do is to generate 30 clients a month. I'll help you build a team of 6 people, and if they each get 5 clients, you don't even got to do anything. That's your 30 clients a month right there. You're making $250,000 a year. Boom. Right? You got to know your numbers. And then lastly, for now, I would say you must be resolute in being a recruiter. Okay? I am a recruiter. Josh, you just want to recruit me. You're damn right. Absolutely. I do. I just want to recruit you. because I know that by me recruiting you, yes, it does help me and my family, but I am going to transform you and your family's life. I interviewed someone on Wednesday that's Latino, like predominantly they speak Spanish and they also speak English, Spanish their first language. I told him, I said, I'm going to transform your life because, and everything I just said. So I truly appreciate everybody who chimed in today. I went a little long, like 6 minutes over. I apologize, Shondell. I think this is impeccably, incredibly important for your progression in Primerica. Everyone on this phone call, it's January, third week of January. This is your year, man. Take this opportunity by the bullhorns because there ain't nothing like Primerica anywhere in America. So hopefully you take advantage.